I came back to ICP because I didn't have anything better to do with myself. I was praying to God, I'm like, please, I don't know what else to do with my work. I want to do meaningful work. And then 3 people in a row told me to go back to YouTube. I played tennis with a guy I just met before. He shared his situation and I shared mine with him. He's like, why don't you just go back to YouTube? Then I ran into a girl I know the next day, same thing. And then I went out with the girl on a date who is a content creator. All this within 24 hours. I'm like, fine, I'll take the hint and I'll go back to YouTube. And you having the video with me before and keeping in touch. And I'm like, nobody, I tried for months to do something locally and nobody wanted it. So I'm like, all these people want my videos about ICP. I'm wanted here. Why am I trying to get people who don't know me to want something that they don't want when I have people who wish I'd come back? So all of you collectively, I know we're all connected at the deepest levels, and I could feel everybody wanting me to come back to ICP. And when I finally opened my mind, I'm like, okay. I was walking around the lake near where I live, and I'm like, I can't come back. I deleted everything. That's stupid. If I'm gonna come back now, I shouldn't have deleted everything before. And it's like, no, the benefit of deleting everything before is a fresh start. I got stuck in a rut, and I needed a fresh start. So I'm really happy. Thank you. You're a big part of me coming back. I was picturing when I was coming back, I'm like, I'm going to tell BlockchainPill like right away. I'm so excited to tell him. So thank you.
I appreciate it. And people inside the ICP community were making, Jerry Banfield edits. I sent you some of them, like really, really well made. So shout out to the people that have made him. It's Zero Fox is one of them. And the other one is ICP Talk. So top notch edits. Mostly when you say ICP, it's generally going to be a Jerry Banfield video, or made around a Jerry Banfield video. So you definitely left your mark on the ICP community. I am super happy that I had the inspiration to ask you for your, phone number so that I can talk to you whenever I want to say something to you. You came back to crypto at the best time. I think we're, close to the bottom. ICP is definitely close to the lowest price that it has ever been. So this better be a bottom. Usually when I say that we're close to a bottom, it actually starts going down lower and people give me shit for that, but it doesn't matter. You have so many channels right now, and I want you to walk us through the channels and why you have so many of them.
Well, I reviewed with 9 months off of YouTube, all my stuff deleted. I thought, what was the best of the Jerry Banfield content I created? And what can I set up to have a sustainable business system? Because I know I can't just do crypto and make all my money off crypto because I burned out doing that. So I thought, okay, first I need an ICP channel. Like, let's not pretend it's crypto. Like, this is just ICP. So I got Jerry Banfield ICP. And the first channel I started making videos for consistently was the ICP channel because there's the audience is right there. Then I thought, okay, how can I help people with my knowledge? What videos were really getting search traffic from new people? And that's my crypto reviews channel. So I have a Jerry Banfield crypto reviews channel where I feel I was adding a lot of value. Like I just reviewed Caspa yesterday, in a scathingly critical review. And I just review whatever coins people want. And I compare them to ICP and they're all junk compared to ICP. But now I do it with nice outlines and try and be more respectful. So that's the second channel because that also is a great way to introduce people to ICP. They're searching for Caspa. They find my Caspa video. They've never heard ICP. Then they go to my ICP channel. So those two channels feed each other. And then I loved my gaming videos. Like some of the videos I still fantasize about are like my gaming ones I made like 10 years ago where I cleared a whole search and destroy lobby in Call of Duty, Black Ops 3, for example. Just like literally me, all my team died and I killed the whole other team myself and defused the bomb. Like, I'm like, I love that video. So I made a new Jerry Banfield gaming channel. And this one, I play a different game every day. I'm like, that's some of the best gaming content ever. Like playing a game I've never played every single day. Then I love helping people with YouTube that are also fellow content creators. Like this is a lonely, difficult business. So I have a Jerry Banfield YouTube coach for fellow creators like you, where I'm talking about what I'm doing, my strategies, the algorithm, Google ads, promoting, all that stuff. And then I have a main new Jerry Banfield channel. It's like all my self-help, personal development, like daily updates. And that one is going to have a lot of courses, like how to lose weight, a dating course, which I'm sure that'll be spectacular. And then
I think
all those other courses. With the idea being that then you come to that channel, that's like a channel for everybody that's in the personal development. So I tried to put all my content on one channel before, or to just have a crypto channel, and you really need content like segmented. Like crypto people don't necessarily want gaming videos. And as a creator, I need to create well-rounded because my mind gets really bored and burnout just trying to just do gaming or just do crypto or just teach courses. Like I need to do all of it because then the gaming inspires my crypto and it all feeds into each other.
I really love that you have segmented your content. I remember the last time we spoke, I asked you about it. I do think it's good to have everything mixed up. And I think that then you told me that the algorithm actually takes care of stuff, but having them segmented is definitely the way to go, in my opinion. Which are the most successful YouTube accounts that you have created? Are they like the ICP and the crypto reviews?
Well, the first YouTube account I created had 260 some thousand subscribers, and that was a general channel. I put crypto, gaming, online courses, hacking tutorials. Like I put everything on that channel, thousands of videos. But the channel over the long term was like shadow banned. The algorithm was trash because it didn't know what to do. Like with this audience that subscribed for League of Legends videos, and then I'm posting a crypto video, it couldn't handle it. So the next best channel I had was my first Jerry Banfield crypto channel that had 50,000 subs. And then my first crypto reviews channel had 10,000 subs. So what's frustrating though in this position, it's like I'm just always trying to get back to, the glory I had before.
But even if you think of the account with 200,000 subscribers, I think most of them were like ghost subscribers. They were maybe not that active anymore. So I think starting fresh is the way to go. But I was talking about the channels that you have recently created, the ones right now. So the crypto reviews, the ICP one, the mentorship, and so on. The two most successful ones, I think, are the ICP one, which has blown up, is like over 1,000 subscribers in a week or something, and the other one. So definitely people are interested in crypto. Did you expect such an incredible growth on your ICP channel?
I did, and I'm impressed. The YouTube algorithm is really good. Like it knew exactly who to show my videos to on a cold channel, which was impressive. But at the same time, the viewers, those of you that watched and subscribed, like you sent really good data to YouTube. YouTube's like, wow, the people really love this guy. We'll show them more of his videos. And ironically, deleting all those old subscribers that subscribed years ago for, some Coinbase tutorial or something, like now I got a really focused audience. Like I looked at your channel as actually an example because if you did a bunch of other crypto reviews and other stuff on your channel, that would be harder for me to like every one of your videos. But like you should have a separate channel that I would choose to subscribe to. Like I love that when I go to BlockchainPill, I'm getting ICP videos.
Yeah.
And then I just watch all your ICP videos.
I used to do in the past, I was big into the abstract blockchain. You remember we talked about it in a podcast?
How'd that work out?
That was terrible. So first of all, the videos that I made were shit. But on the money side, I made a bunch of money, like tens of thousands of dollars. But I thought it was going to go crazy into like hundreds of thousands and millions. I didn't sell, and now the whole thing is down like 90%, which is crazy. But I did make money. Like it was a good 3 months. I was making, very, very good money on that blockchain. But it fizzled out, and it died like the rest of the market, which is unfortunate. And I think this is a good lesson for all of us because we're gonna discuss it in the next episode. I think even inside the ICP ecosystem, there have been so many opportunities to make money if you took profits, which I haven't, and I know that in many cases you haven't either. So that's terrible. Definitely a lesson learned there. An expensive one, but a lesson learned.
Yes.
I want to ask you about what made you decide to come back and create content about ICP?
As I wanted to be wanted somewhere, like especially delivering letters door to door to thousands of houses. I just felt so unwanted and useless. And that was a good experience because I've done YouTube since 2011 and like full time since like 2014. Like I haven't had a real job, like a full-time job since 2009, technically 2010, the census. But I knew them like if I make ICP videos, I know people want my videos. Like I know there's an audience. I know that that's the one place I can immediately create content and people will be happy to see me in. after months of like nobody being happy to see me, thinking that there'd be this great local business, I'm like, I just want to do something that people are happy to receive. So the validation has been really nice. And I've also been ruthless with the haters. I'm like, the first comment you put on my channel, I don't like, hide all comments.
I do the
Like you're
same.
shadow banned immediately. And I used to think that was not nice to be like that, but it also protects all the people who love my channel from getting hated on too. And from, when you watch my channel, you don't want to see 15 people talking about what an idiot I am and all that. Like I wouldn't want to see that in your comments. So that was a big
I
change I made. It's like first comment, you can get one comment, but nobody's gonna see anything after that.
Yeah. I do the same, especially now, the prices are down, bears are getting, a lot more aggressive and, trying to poke fun and do stuff like that, which is like a very retarded way of existing. Like I don't, people taking joy and making fun of other people. Okay, this time you guys won, the bears won this time, but the thing is the bulls are going to do the same thing to the bears, when the prices are going to go back to the top, like we're going to laugh at them and do like, I'm not going to ban anybody who makes fun of the bears. So I guess I'm like the bears in that regard. Did you watch what was happening inside the ICP ecosystem when you were away?
No, I deleted YouTube from my phone. I didn't keep an eye on anything. The only thing I checked maybe like once a month was the price. And that gave me a good experience of like, if I'm just checking the price once a month, this looks like it's going terrible, at least when things are going down. But as soon as I came back, like as soon as I created YouTube accounts, I watched a little bit before I posted. And when I watched your videos and Bobby O's and the Zero to Hero, I'm like, went really well. Like in 9 months, the prices went down, but everything else has been going awesome. And that got me really fired up. But yeah, I took 9 months. The only things I watched were like if you sent me something personally, like you did, and Chris Yost sent me something, like I watched those. But I hardly watched any content at all for 9 months. The downside is though, I was really grounded and more present, and I've noticed as soon as I get back onto YouTube, I'm in my mind so much. I'm a little less, I'm a little less present than I was before.
I would assume that's true. So a 9-month break from YouTube videos, watching the charts, worrying about the price, I think that's definitely welcome. I couldn't do 9 months, but maybe taking a little bit of time off of technology and living in the moment, in the present, like go into nature and stuff like that. Go maybe hike on a mountain. Definitely that would be beneficial. A lot of people were very upset when they saw your neuron vote no on Mission 70. A lot of people were mad. Like, Jerry's a traitor. Jerry strikes again. Everybody unfollowed this guy, stuff like that.
Before I quit and when I was deleting everything, I took time to research who would be the very best person to vote in terms of like representing me accurately and making sure every single vote is placed thoughtfully. And the best person that I found to do that was Lorimer. So I followed Lorimer, and in 9 months of me not manually voting on anything, Lorimer placed every single vote. And from what I see, they were placed thoughtfully, even if his thought might not have agreed with my thought in some cases. So everybody following me didn't miss any rewards. At the same time, though, Lorimer chose to vote no on Mission 70. And he voted no, like right when I was like about to come back and starting to look. I didn't even know what Mission 70 was. He'd already voted no on it, like while I was doing my initial research. So I still have Lorimer followed to make sure all my votes, but I go in and vote manually now also. At some point, I may vote manually every time, but I create content. That's what I do. I don't have time to manually look up every proposal. I need to trust somebody to make more informed decisions for me. But I would be interested to hear from Lorimer. He probably posted somewhere about why he voted no on Mission 70, but that's how I voted no on it.
I think people should be incentivized to actually have a following inside the NNS. Like, at least some of the rewards that people get should be directed to the person that actually cast the vote. Do you think that would be fair?
Oh, yes. I would love that. And I would put more time into manually voting accurately myself if that was the case. And Dominic Williams tried to suggest that. And he tried to suggest the tiniest percentage, like 1%, which that would be big for me with as many people. I mean, I have millions of voting power that move when I vote. Like that would be a nice little paycheck for me to get 1%, 1% of people's rewards.
Yeah.
Dominic got roasted, absolutely roasted over suggesting that 1% of the reward should go to whoever you're following. I'm like, seriously, guys, like you expect somebody to do all the work for you and you don't want to compensate them at all. And you're going to roast the founder of Definity over this idea. Like that's one of the silliest discussions I've seen in ICP in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think this should be revisited because it's definitely work to do all of the proposals like every single day. There are tens some days, you know, a lot of proposals. And listen, if you have 100% voting presence and people didn't miss any rewards, you know, from you voting, you definitely deserve a reward. You and everybody else who has a neuron.
Especially with ICP growing, we definitely need incentives for people who are paying attention and doing their own research voting. Like someone like Lorimer should get compensated because if ICP goes where we think it's going to go, the number of proposals is going to 10 or 100x probably. Because there's relatively like the ecosystem now is relatively empty compared to where it's going to go. Imagine 10 or 20 SNS proposals a day when this blows up. And you need somebody to go in and manually vote. I think if you're following somebody, they should get at least 10% of the voting rewards. And then there should be people in the ecosystem that are like full-time manual researchers that all they do is look at every proposal and try and make an intelligent vote. And they should present themselves basically for election. Like, hey, I'm, you know, Lorimer and I manually vote and this is the research I do. And then their track record should indicate whether you'd follow them or not. So I'd like to see a lot of development in ICP ecosystem around voting incentives and having people who manually, thoughtfully vote. That's like one of the biggest changes we can make, I think, after Mission 70.
I think 10% is a little bit too much. Like it's a little bit too much. 10% is like you notice a 10% decrease, but listen, let's start at 1% and I think we can go from there. Yeah.
Well, it is 10% of the rewards. So if the rewards are like 6%, 10% of that is like a half, 0.6% of the total rewards you're getting. So 10% of 6% is a small number.
It is a small number, but yeah, for example, people making like with 5,000 ICP, I think you make like 2 ICP a day. You wouldn't be making 2 ICP a day. You would be making 1.8 ICP a day. That's listen, you're not even making
for 2. AFK voting is worth it.
That's true. That's true. Definitely it should be revisited. If you want Jerry Banfield to vote for you, it's going to be 10%. But if you follow BlockchainPill, it's gonna be 6%. I'm gonna undercut you.
Yeah, that's really smart. You should be able to set it manually so that people who offered the best value for the lowest reward would be chosen over, people who just scraped their following for 10%, like Jerry.
Yeah, definitely. Jerry, I want in the next video to talk about Mission 70 and what the impact is going to be about Mission 70. Thank you for having me on your channel. And if you want to do the outro.
Yes, so thank you, BlockchainPill. If you somehow haven't subscribed to BlockchainPill, I watch all BlockchainPill's videos at BlockchainPill. And if you're an ICP, BlockchainPill is essential viewing, the first channel I went to when I came back. So subscribe to BlockchainPill.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jerry. And we'll see you guys on my channel for the next video.